am so happy about this one right here. This one right here. I'm happy that we're videoing now because the last time we interviewed you, I was into the paper. It was a whole different
Right.
era in life.
Yeah.
And here we are. When did you when were you your first election?
2016 is when I first ran.
So it's 10. No, no, no. 2018 is when.
In 2016 I started, and then 2020 right when COVID.
What? Okay, so let's walk backwards.
Okay.
When did how did we even meet, D?
We met through a mutual colleague because when I was running in 2016, that colleague said, "You need to meet
I
Jen."
okay.
And I said,
I
"Okay."
yes,
And I was
and the
trying to
rest
learn
is
how to
it.
do everything.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
were like, "No, let me
no,
do this."
yeah, and you actually are one of the only people who consistently paid me for those services, for
Okay.
my branding, for you were a huge part of my development in
Wow.
Clayton County. So
Okay.
while I was doing the magazine, I was trying to be something else, and you helped start that
Wow.
branding
Okay.
love like for women that I have now. So
Okay.
we much better now.
Yeah.
So okay, so you came on the scene in 2016.
Hmm.
What why Clayton County school board?
Well, it wasn't necessarily the school board, it was just the interest of the children. I have been an advocate for children forever. From Sunday school, that's where it started. Sunday school. I'm a child of a grandmother who believed in Sunday school, parents who were involved in Sunday school, so it was just a natural flow. And then also volunteering in Atlanta with Grady Health Systems and dealing with first time mothers who were considered what society says at risk. No child is at risk, it's just a matter of how they were brought up. So that was an interest of mine all along. And so, therefore, when you have that foundation from your maternal grandmother to your parents until you volunteer in civic activities, it just kind of dwells with you. And then in your own space, your nieces and my nephews, who I love dearly, that plays a part. So it's just like, let's make this, something that's worthwhile. So after much prayer and just you really say, okay, I can do this and I can step out and do this, it was at that point then I said, okay, I'm gonna try to do this and everything. So, how the story unfolded, though I did not win in 2016, God had to say, let me see how faithful you're gonna be if you're gonna do it again. Are you really serious about what you're doing? So I said, okay, wait 4 years. I said, okay. He said, you were the last on the ballot to win. Last on the ballot. I said, okay, God. Let me see your consistency. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do it again. But my love for what I was grounded on never stopped. Because some people, and I'm not knocking anyone, people will often pull back after they didn't win. But I kept going because it was something I believed in. Not a front, not the photos, not the flexing, none of that. That didn't mean anything to me. It was just the foundation of children. And so I felt like, okay, here it is. And so when 2020 came, I had another obstacle, Miss Coco, which is
Yeah.
COVID.
Yes.
So God
Yes.
said, let me see how you're going to do with this. And so, I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? I was blessed with the magazine to help propel me. I had all the mailers. Everything was helping me at that time in 2016. So therefore, I had to use my creativity. Okay, I still had things left from 2016. I was like, here we go. Same look and everything. So it was so funny. A dear friend of mine said, I'll do the soft campaigning while you're working. And so therefore we couldn't go out because my base was my senior citizens. And so like they're not going to answer the door. But soft campaigning, I was able to do it before they shut the nation down. And so being able to give out that mailer from 2016 to give it to them now, here it is in 2020, March. And I was able to do a soft campaign. And I was like, okay. And then when they shut it down, I was like, I got to really get creative. And so therefore technology advanced itself for me. And so I was still trying to do raising money as much as I could, and doing those things, but it took to get to that point. And so I said, here it is. And then another obstacle had opposition. Then we challenged it. And I won. So it was just like that friend of mine, he was so dear to help me. And we found out it was legitimate where they were not supposed to be. And so God said, okay, you've been consistent all this time. Okay, here it is. And so here it is. I ran and got it and been serving ever since. And so when I see these children, people like, Dr. D, you would rather be out here in the community with the children than to do the budget and, the governance of the superintendent. I was like, you got it. These
Yes.
kids, I mean, I get excited with them. I just get excited with them. Whether they're good, bad, or indifferent, they're all children. Because we got to pave the way somewhere. you know.
And they are our future.
They
And
are.
what we're giving to them now is what we're going to get back in return.
Right.
So, what I've always found fascinating about you is that you don't have children.
No.
You the world's greatest auntie, the world's
Yeah.
best auntie, like that. And so I'd always been curious, like, how can she love these children with that of a mother's love? That's what it
Yeah.
comes off as. Even like
Right.
with my Jaden.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anybody else in my group of friends of that has formed a relationship with him. So I like to think that we're special.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah, I know, but everybody else is too.
Jadon is it? When I met Jadon, I was like, wow, he was so manable, you know. And I was like, wow, I just took to him, and then following his career and everything, I'm liking everything. Always, I'm just like,
Yeah.
yep. And he's like, dog, he just keep liking everything. I am a true fan, so.
But
it
you're a
just
true
really
fan
helped.
of all the
Yeah,
children.
of all the children.
I'm going to ask you two questions so you can take a second to think about it. I
Okay.
want to know what decisions are most difficult for you. Answer that one first because it's easy to think about what are the easiest
Right.
decisions for that you have to make.
Well, what's most difficult is really dealing with your conscience when you make those decisions. Because you have to do it for the budget of the district, and you're not going to always make everybody happy. For instance, when our teachers were in need of raises, I'm looking at teachers' needs, and that's when cuts were happening across Georgia and the nation. And we're trying to now look at it, at least me, look at how can I meet the needs of a teacher, paras, staff, administration, but particularly our teachers at that time, considering that they had other entities they could go to, but I'm trying to retain them in Clayton. So I got to ride with my decision. So I have to ask questions, and I'm a listener, and I have to internalize. And some, with me, I may have to be reactionary on some decisions, but some decisions I have to sit back and just let it float a little bit and marinate a little bit before I become too irrational in my decision making. And so therefore it takes 9 votes to make something. I can put my opinion out there, I can put my thoughts and my rationale, but it takes the rest of the 8. So making those decisions that ride with my conscience, but at the same time trying to meet the needs of the need that needs to be done. So those are the hard decisions when you have to make those hard decisions, when you have to make the hard decisions on governance of superintendent. You know, you have to give that feedback, you know, to make sure that they're still staying in line. Not that they're all wild or anything, but make sure they're staying in line in compliance because we're riding on this. And I stand hold to what GSBA has taught us. These are protocols, these are sanctions you have to go by, state of Georgia. And so I try to uphold that. But again, you're not going to please everybody. I'm not here to please, I'm here to do my job. And my job is the governance of the superintendent and the budget, but at the same time take care of the 7,000 and the 51K that we have in this district. And those decisions all along, those are hard decisions. Like, did I make the right choice? What is the public thinking of what I did? And you have to also look at the reality of it. If you don't make a decision that's pleasing to the public, that affects your vote. But I can't ride on that because when I know that I'm genuine in what I'm doing, I don't worry about that. So it's just the decisions. Those are hard decisions. I have to go back home and say, did I make, not somebody coercing me, did I make the right decision? Especially for District 5, did I make the right decision that would benefit all the teachers? And Jerry, you brought up a good point because I had to do a forum online as we were on Zoom, and those tough questions came about. And so I had to just be the forefront and just say, look, and I had to just get real raw with them. This is the budget. This is what we're faced with. And if you really want to be real with it, if you're trying to play cat and dance with us, do what you have to do. And we're going to do what we have to do and make it work. And so I think being honest with them and letting them know this is where the perspective is and the reality is, we were able to retain. And then we were, as a board collectively, with our superintendents and the finance team, we were able to meet those needs at that time. So sometimes those hard decisions will come out kind of rash, but the result will come out better. So those are things.
So that's almost the good and the bad in one. It's really, really important for me as a layperson, not into politics, to understand and know that you all can understand that we are people too,
Right.
and that you all, I trust you to make this decision for me. What is the contrast and the difference? You brought this up in serving your constituency and in serving your students, the people who are supposed to be serving,
Right.
superintendent, board members, the students, teachers, staff. How do you contrast those two?
Well, my constituents, all of them, because it's from the seniors to the teenagers, separate them all.
Yeah.
Because the seniors are my foundation. And if you looked at my posts, I have a favorite. I have several favorites out there. All my seniors are my favorites. But these two seniors keep me aligned, Miss Eloise and Mr. Terry. Keep me in line. Miss Eloise gonna keep me in line if she see my posts that are looking kind of crazy. And Mr. Terry, he's gonna make sure that I know he's about to vote.
I would love to get a picture
Yeah.
with both of them. Do you
Okay.
have a picture with them?
I do.
Okay, send that to us.
And so I make it a point to keep in contact with them.
Mm-hmm.
And all my other seniors I've met along the way. I go incognito on the weekends and they look up on their hat. It's like, it's me. But at the same time, I got to serve them to make sure that they're well aware of what's going on. They may not have children directly in the district, but their tax dollars is affected. Their house value is affected. So I have to make sure I keep a clear communication in terms where they understand what's going on. And if they want to get deep with it, I go deep with them, but I have to let them know I'm here for you. I'm with you. You call me anytime. They will call me, and I have actually gone to Mr. Terry's house and knocked on the door. He's like, that you did this? It's me. I go in my own neighborhood because it starts in your neighborhood too. So I have to make sure that they know this is what's going on in Clayton County, and this is what's going on in Clayton County Public Schools. And so therefore, when I come over here to this side, where I'm making sure that I'm serving my superintendent, I respect him at all costs, all of them. And so I make sure that I give them that respect first of all. Though I'm governing you, we're a team. You're not better than me, I'm not better than you. And the staff, and let them know I'm supporting you. I lean on the staff to be able to teach D what goes on because that's your expertise. Now, if it comes back to me again, then we're going to have some conversations as to why it's not resolved, you know? And so therefore, and then my students, they have to see me in that light, not a front. They see me in all perspectives. They see me with no makeup on. They see me at football game. They see me at their schools when I'm invited there because I don't ever infringe on the principles. When they invite me there, they see me there. They need to see the presence of their board member. And I believe in that. I'm not here for the picture taking all the time. I'm here to support you, even if I have to get on you. And so I think that's what they do. And I try to be there in all facets of them. Like yesterday, for instance, they had a championship, the elementary schools. I'm there watching the little people just get down with it. And those parents were real. I was like, wow, this is it. But to see that and to hug on them and to love them. And, parents are telling them who I am. They don't really know. But then I tell them, they said, what you do? I said, that seat you sit in? That food you eat at lunchtime? That's what I do. Make sure you get it. So they like, okay. And even at one of the schools, I call one of the students a superstar. And they're like, who is she? And I just tell teachers, just tell them, Dr. D, just really proud of her. They're a superstar. So it's those type of things, even the teachers, don't be, I am just as human as you are. You can talk to me. And I understand, I respect the protocols, and I expect them to respect the protocols of the board. But in all honesty, I just try to show the realness of who I am. Outside of Dr. D, I am D. Haney from Cascade, Southwest Atlanta, Zone 4, Rogers Avenue, that made her way to Clayton County. That's who I am. SWAT, okay?
Who came over to Clayton County. Okay,
Yeah.
so you ain't scared.
No.
And the students don't intimidate you.
No, they don't.
And that's, I think, what is... I was thinking as you were talking, I got two thoughts going on at the same time. Look at D. That's what I'm saying to myself. This is not the D. I'm from 2016.
Right, shy. Yeah, reserved.
Very reserved. Like, now you like, come on over here.
About it.
Yes, I love it though. I love that.
It's evolved. I mean, you have to, and I didn't know that. My mom said it was always in you, just a matter of the environment you had to be around. And so when I get around those shores, it's a whole different energy. It's a whole different, and I think I'm probably about the most energetic one because I'm always, one of my colleagues at graduation, This past graduation, we had winter graduation. It's like, you always so hyped. It's like, I have to be. Do you see what's walking across the stage? Yeah. Do you not know what they are going through or what they have been through? I celebrate with them. Even when they frowning, I don't care. I make them smile anyway. I say, this is life now. You're about to enter it.
This the real deal.
This is real. You want to do it early. Here it is, So just being relatable to these students.
I'm so happy that we're doing videos now.
Yeah.
Because I would have never gotten this on paper. And I know Jaden sent you some questions, and I was like, I got to get in here and talk to Dee to hear it for myself so that I can feel the vibrations when I write the story. But I'm just like, look at my Dee. I'm so happy. And I was concerned that a certain person, I'm going to cut right there. Hold on, Jaden. Dee, what would you like to leave us with?
Well, what I want to leave with is continue to be yourself. Continue to be yourself, and regardless of the situation, circumstances, continue to be grounded in who you are. My foundation, as I told you before, is my maternal grandmother. My maternal grandmother, my family. That's my foundation. And so without them, it would be no Dee. And I tell people, I said, my grandmother would come out from Lincoln Cemetery and knock me upside my head if I even thought about getting cocky. I look at TikTok and that little dog say, oh, who do you think you're talking to?
You like,
wait a minute.
Yeah.
So it's those things and just being true. And that's who I believe in, being true. Like I told you, I'm just a chick from Cascade to Clayton County.
I love that.
So
I think that might be the title. I love that.